Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of the Articulate Fly, and we're back with another Ugly Bug Fishing Report with Dustin White. How you doing, Dustin?
Marvin, I'm doing great. How are you?
I wish I was still out west fishing.
Yeah, it's a little slice of heaven out here. We miss you out here fishing with us, and can't wait for the next John.
Yeah, you bet. And so it's kind of funny, right? We were talking about the weather, and it's been frying eggs on the sidewalk weather in Wyoming, and then it's going to drop into the 60s and then bounce back. What's going on?
Man, yeah. I mean, I think today actually we saw a record high in Casper with our air temp. So, kind of tis the season, but this is definitely way, way, way warmer than we typically are post Labor Day. So, it's a little bit of a grind. It's not made the fishing bad by any stretch, but it's definitely made it a little more funky, and it's made us kind of have to shuffle a deck throughout the day on each of the fisheries that we're on. So it's just that weird transition type of year, but once things level out, then our fishing will probably get back to a little more consistent. But definitely made for some challenges, admittedly, when we're on the water.
Yeah, and I would imagine too, when you're up at 100 and you drop down to 60, that probably does what it does on the East Coast, and it kind of locks those fish down and makes them a little bit less willing to bite, right?
Yeah, and then when it goes back that other way, it does the same thing too. Anytime you have that drastic swing, it just makes things a little funky. But once everything levels off, then you can rely more on some more consistent fishing.
Yeah, and so kind of working from town out, how have the recent conditions affected things on the reef?
Yeah, we're pretty mossy right now on the reef. So I'd say, of any of the three sections we fish, of the reef through east of town, the Mile and the Horn, we've definitely been running all, if not the majority of all of our trips, the Mile and the Horn, just because that has been, much better fishing. The Mile for this time of year is still fishing remarkably well. So still from your trip, we're still seeing some very, very reliable fishing of some great caliber fish. So the Mile's been very, very good. The Horn has been very, very good. The reef has just been what the grind has been, a little more of a struggle there. Now, it doesn't mean that we're not going to see fish, touch fish, get fish, but we're steering most of our trips of folks to the Mile and to the Horn.
Yeah. And, obviously when I was with you, there weren't a lot of dry fly opportunities. Is that still the case? Is it still kind of a nymph and streamer game?
A little bit. We've actually, the trico and the pseudo hatch on both the Mile and the Horn has been pretty reliable. And so it's just kind of timing that up for folks. And a lot of that's temperature related. So what time in the morning that trico and pseudo hatch happens is a little bit of a roll of the dice, but it has been actually relatively reliable on, like I said, both the Horn and on the Mile. So there's still opportunities for that, but it's more of a morning showing that we have those fish looking up. Other than that, it's going to be fish responding better to nymphing rigs. The Mile will provide a little more reliability with streamers than the Horn. Again, a lot of grass this time of year. And so it doesn't mean you can't strip up a fish with a streamer, but you're going to be raking in a lot of grass, particularly on the Bighorn and on the Gray Reef.
Yeah, got it. And, folks, we love questions on the Articulate Fly. You can email them to us. You can DM us on social media. You can even drop them in the comments to our social media posts. And if we use your question, I will send you some Articulate Fly swag, and we're going to enter a drawing for a super cool tailwater box that we've been talking about a lot in the fishing reports. Yeah. And, even if you're not going to have a chance to go out and fish in Wyoming, patterns that are great for tailwaters in the east, like the Holston, fish the Watauga, but, other tailwaters, Colorado, anywhere in the country that you fish a tailwater, this box will be helpful for you.
Absolutely. And as we've been saying, Marvin, we're really excited to get that box in someone's hand, because there's probably going to be some flies in there, or almost certainly going to be some flies in there that folks probably haven't had too much of an introduction to before, but they can add that to their repertoire and add that to their fly box of, some pretty effective flies that they can use on their home waters or as they're out exploring the different tailwaters that we have here in our country.
Yeah, I think it's one of the great things too. And, my recent trip really reminded me about, how people adapt to the fisheries that they fish, but how you can take kind of the tips and tricks from that fishery and bring it home to your home water.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the more things that you pick up from other fisheries and how folks approach their particular waters, again, it's just another arrow in your quiver to take back to your home waters and just expand the skill set you have and things to draw from when you're fishing various waters. So it's always helpful, and we're excited to get that fly box in someone's hand.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, folks, too, even if we don't use your question, if you go in the shop and mention the fishing report, you'll get 10% off your purchase. And, Dustin, I'm going to let you get back. You're actually on the road enjoying yourself down in the Jackson area. I want you to get back doing that. And, folks, when the heat breaks, you owe it to yourself to get out there and catch a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Dustin.
Tight lines, Marvin. Thanks so much.